Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Ever Merciful. A few days ago, we have witnessed a barbaric attack on a history geography teacher in France. A sad incident by which we were all shaken. And I offer my condolences to Samuel Paty's family. And I unreservedly condemn this attack, which has nothing to do with Islam. But sadly, this incident was said to be done in the name of Islam. There was a backlash. In France, we saw after this incident, after this barbaric act, we saw that the cartoons of Muhammad, may the peace and blessing of God be upon him, were shown on government buildings. It was decided that a catalog would be assembled of all of these cartoons and will be made available to all the students. Yes, this hurts our feelings. But we can never ever react with violence, because this is not what Islam has taught us. Islam is very clear. Allah the Almighty states that when you hear the signs of Allah being denied and mocked, sit not with them until they engage in a talk other than that, for that in case you would be like them. The Holy Quran says, leave alone their annoyance and put thy trust in Allah, for Allah is sufficient as a guardian. And then God tells us that you shall surely hear many hurtful things. So God has already told us that there are things which we will not like. We will be hurt. But that God says, but if you show fortitude and act righteously, that indeed is a matter of strong determination. This is what the message of Islam is. This is what our reaction should be. Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, was mocked as well, was ridiculed, he was persecuted. And some words, the words of a person who mocked him, are actually quoted in the Holy Quran. But what was the reaction of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did he react in a violent manner? No. In fact, after a few years, when that same person who mocked him and ridiculed him passed away, Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, decided to lead his funeral prayer. This is what the teaching that we have. And this is what we want to tell the world, that this act has nothing to do with Islam. Our Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, was a peaceful man. He was a mercy for all the world. And today, by the grace of Allah, we, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, have been blessed by having the institution of Khilafat, a leader who leads by example, who is always there to guide us. And he said, and I quote, that materialistic people are blind to faith and do not even refrain from mocking God Almighty, let alone the prophets. If we respond to the actions of the ignorant with ignorance also, it will only lead them to persist further in their actions. And this is exactly what we've seen in France. The situation escalated so much that on national TV channels, people openly spoke about Islamophobia. that it is our right to be Islamophobic. It is our right to hate a religion. One lady said that the veiled woman is the uniform of the Islamists, and veiled women are the enemies of France. And she said that she was expecting that the veiled women should remove their hijab in solidarity with Samuel Paty for a day or a week. So lots of things have taken place. And as Hazuri Anwar, His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masood Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, said that if we respond to the actions of the ignorant with ignorance, then that will only lead them to persist further in their actions. Therefore, God Almighty states that instead of responding to them, you should pass by and distance yourself from such people who commit vain acts. And then he further says, he goes on, he said, it is up to Muslims to stand up and reject all forms of extremism and terrorism. Wherever and whenever such attacks take place, they must be condemned in the strongest possible terms. It is the task of Ahmadi Muslims to show the true teachings of Islam, which are of peace, love, mercy, and compassion. So we have been saddened by what happened in France. And our reaction should be to lead by example, to follow the teaching of Islam, to show patience, to show gratitude, fortitude, and to show the world what a true Muslim is, what in actuality Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, who he was. So may God enable all of us to follow the true teachings of Islam so that we can show the world that Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, was the champion of peace, and it was truly a mercy for mankind.